I could say what it is now. It was actually originally when the nurse goes into the room and finds Victoria. She's not pregnant. She's scratching the back of her head and she's like going crazy singing the song, and she has blood all over her fingers and she's freaking out. And then Chris Jericho comes running to the room and the two of them tackle her and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And the nurse goes to inspect her back of her head and she's like kind of putting her fingers there, and all of a sudden she screams and she's struggling and she rips her hand away and her fingers are bitten off. And then all of a sudden Victoria gets up and tears the back of her scalp open, and you see art growing on the back of her head like a tumor. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like a movie called Malignant?
Yeah.
He was going crazy when Malignant came out. He was like, oh, we gotta redo this whole thing.
Right. So we shot that scene, and then like 3 months later, I was actually coming home from a horror convention. I just get off the plane, I'm waiting for my lift, and I get a phone call from Jason Levy, Mike's brother, and he goes, dude, I just watched Malignant. He goes, go home and watch the last 20 minutes. And I'm like, why? He's like, we are fucked. He just did the exact same thing we did. And I'm like, oh, my heart sank. And I'm like, maybe it's not that close, maybe it's not that bad. And I go home and I watch it. And it's almost identical, and they did it way better. I have to tell them they did it way better. So, I was like, what do we do? Do we just scrap it and then just figure it out at the beginning of part 3 and take it from there? But I really wanted to leave the audience with a cliffhanger. I love leaving you guys knowing that Art's coming back. I love that. So we reconfigured it, and I really have to give all the thanks to where we went with the pregnancy to our costume designer, Olga, because I was going back and forth with her and we were joking, like, is there any other places he can come out of or whatever? And she came up with that, almost like jokingly. We're just trying to gross each other out, and I was like, no. I was like, that's fucking perfect. She's gonna give birth to him, but not just him, just his head. Only his head. And it was a blessing in disguise, because it's way better, and it changed the entire trajectory now of where part 3 goes, like I was saying before. You never know when inspiration's gonna come or something is gonna come out of the movie gods are gonna kind of just drop some goodness on you.
I guess thank you, James Wan. But it just goes to show where your head is at, pun intended. Because, look, Malignant comes out, huge movie, and they're on the same, kind of wavelengths of what you were coming up with and what we were doing. And then, like you said, it came out first, and then it gave us an opportunity to do something way different and way cooler. And now for part 3 to kind of take us on that new journey.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a producer's nightmare. He called me up and said, you got to check this out. And I didn't want to. So when I looked at it, I said, get the fuck out of here. He goes, we're going to reshoot it. I said, no, we're not. I said, cut the fucking scene. I said, end it where it is. It looks perfect.
Yeah.
All right, guys, aren't you happy we didn't cut the scene?